Hi, my name is Sylvan. I share mysterious stories that make you think, wonder, and question. And all of them will leave you intrigued. If you enjoy exploring the unknown, subscribe and join me on this journey.
Have you ever heard of a man who traveled through time, not by machine, but through his mind? A man who woke up in another body, in another century? This is the story of Paul Amadeus Dienach, a Swiss teacher who, after falling into a coma in 1921, claimed to have experienced life in the year 3906. When he awoke, he documented everything he saw, everything he learned of future, beyond imagination. But what he wrote was never meant for the world to see. Dienach's writings, later compiled into a book titled Chronicles From The Future, describe a world transformed. He speaks of wars that reshape nations, of humanity reaching new spiritual heights, and of a mysterious group called the Supreme Enlightened, who guide society with wisdom beyond our comprehension. According to his accounts, humanity had evolved far beyond the conflicts and divisions of our time. By the 40th century, the world was no longer ruled by politics, greed, or war. Instead, people lived in vast, harmonious cities powered by clean energy, where advanced technology seamlessly blended with nature. These cities were not overcrowded metropolises but well-balanced, beautifully designed spaces that respected the natural environment. People no longer worked in the traditional sense. Instead of dedicating their lives to money and survival, they focused on intellectual, artistic, and spiritual pursuits. Disease and hunger had been eradicated, and humans no longer aged in the same way we do. Medical advancements had reached a point where people lived for centuries, maintaining vitality and well-being. But what stands out the most is his prediction about 2025. Many believe that something significant is on the horizon. A global shift. A turning point. Dienach didn't say the world would end in 2025, but that it would change in ways we can barely begin to comprehend. He wrote about a period of upheaval, where economic systems collapse and humanity faces challenges unlike anything before. Governments as we know them would struggle to maintain control, and power structures would begin to crumble. But from the chaos, a new world order would emerge, one where wisdom, not power, dictates the future. Dienach wrote about how these shifts were not meant to destroy humanity, but to cleanse it, forcing us to evolve beyond material obsessions and petty conflicts. It was a necessary transformation, painful, but ultimately leading to a more enlightened society. Dienach also spoke of a time when humans develop a deeper connection to their consciousness. He mentioned a collective awakening, where people start to perceive reality in ways that go beyond our current understanding. This enlightenment, he claimed, was guided by a hidden group, the Supreme Enlightened, who quietly oversee humanity's evolution, ensuring that we do not destroy ourselves before reaching our full potential. But there was something even more personal in his experience, something that made him question whether he ever wanted to return to his original time. In the year 3906, Dienach found himself living as a man named Andreas Northam. He was taken in by the people of this future world and grew close to a woman who would change everything, his beloved Lena. She was not just his guide, but his companion, his teacher, and ultimately, the reason he felt torn between staying in the future or returning to his own time. Lena showed him the wonders of the new world. She introduced him to the vast knowledge humanity had accumulated over thousands of years. Libraries unlike any we have today, filled with the recorded consciousness of past generations. The ability to communicate thoughts and emotions without words. A life free of violence, suffering, or greed. Their bond deepened with time, and Dienach felt something he never expected: love. In a world so different from his own, Lena became his anchor, making his experience feel real, tangible. He began to question if his life in the early 20th century had been a dream, and whether this future world was his true reality. But he knew his time was limited. Eventually, he woke up. Back in 1921. The pain of leaving Lena behind was one of the deepest sorrows he recorded. Was she real? Or was she a construct of his mind, an illusion created by his coma? Even Dienach himself never knew for sure. His writings were never intended for the public. Before his death, he entrusted them to his student, Georgios Papachatzis, who later translated and published them. The world, however, remained skeptical. Some dismissed his accounts as the ramblings of a sick man. Others saw them as a prophecy, a warning of what is to come. He even detailed events that seem eerily close to what we see happening today: technological advancements, growing unrest, and an increasing divide between materialism and spirituality. Was he truly a man out of time?
Subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss what's coming next. Share it, because some stories are meant to be discovered together. And stay curious. I'll see you in the next chapter.